try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. Well, it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about how Changpeng Zhao, the founder and former CEO of the exchange Binance, is facing up to 36 months in prison time as a result of his charges filed by the DOJ last year that he pled guilty to, as well as up to a $50 million fine. Today, we're going to be talking about CZ's plight and where he may end up. And we're also going to be talking about how we can most take advantage of the cryptocurrency market as it stands right now, being on a correction over the last 24 hours to make wealth, to generate wealth. I'm very excited to be here because my job is to inform you guys on how to build wealth in the cryptocurrency markets and holistically. And we're going to be talking about all of that and more in today's episode of Coffee and Crypto Live. If you enjoyed today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more updates. And without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. We've got a lot of people in chat already this morning. Cynthia Dizon is in chat, said, hi, Jeb. Christina Orozco is in chat. Philly Skills 1428. Joe Bollier, Dom. Berser Kirkland. Bowerbowl. It's a really cool name. Said, what's up? Bortizzi said, morning, Jeb. Thanks for keeping us all informed and sharing your knowledge. God bless. God bless you as well. Bren X is in chat. David in chat. Steven Alexander is in chat. Green Bronco. John P. said, good morning, Jeb. God bless you and your family. Well, thank you. Verhoofty Flufen is in chat. Joel Elbs is in chat. And Christian M is in chat. Very excited to see all of you today. All right. Let's go ahead and jump on over to our story of the day. Binance founder Changpeng Zhao should spend 3 years in prison, the Department of Justice says. So in short, if you don't know, CZ was the founder and chief executive officer. He's still the founder, but he was the chief executive officer of the exchange known as Binance, which, if you're not familiar, is an absolutely massive organization. It is by leaps and bounds the largest crypto exchange. It's not even close. They've got 10 times the volume of Coinbase. They've got over $100 billion in assets that are deposited on the platform. And if you've been watching this number for any amount of time, you know that even since the case against CZ, that number has only been going up and up and up and up and up. This used to be $70 billion less than a year ago. Now it's over 132. The fact of the matter is, Binance is a cryptocurrency exchange that is nigh unstoppable, but that doesn't mean that CZ is. So the DOJ wants him to serve 3 years in prison. He originally agreed to not appeal any decision up to 18 months in prison, and his defense team is asking for at-home confinement at his home in Abu Dhabi. But the DOJ believes that CZ has created such a headache for them in the fact that now people around the world are going to try and break U.S. securities law and other laws if they see CZ get off the hook with no prison time. So this is a really big case for both sides. Obviously, CZ doesn't want to spend 3 years in prison, and the DOJ believes very strongly that they need to make an example out of CZ for the sake of deterring other would-be quote-unquote criminals that are enabling money laundering. So I'd love to hear your opinions on this in the comment section. CZ probably didn't do everything that he should have done, and he even has admitted this and taken a lot of accountability in the areas that he fell short. But I've got to also have a little bit of empathy with the guy. I don't think I would do any better if I was running a multi-$100 billion company. The guy's very intelligent. He's ridiculously smart. He's got a massive track record of running businesses. But the fact of the matter is, it's easy to screw up when you're building a new kind of product in a new market. So I think that he shouldn't be seeing 3 years in prison time. I think that it comes down to if he broke the law and he knew that he was breaking the law, even if he didn't know he was breaking the law, but he should have known, then sure, there should be some kind of restitution there. But making an example out of somebody who is honestly showing an extraordinary acceptance of responsibility is probably not the way the DOJ wants to go. As we've talked about over and over again, the SEC, the DOJ, everybody involved in government has to be able to work with the cryptocurrency community that doesn't mean that they can't have laws and they can't demand that they be followed. We've got to have some kind of order, or there's no such thing as society. That being said, individuals that do take responsibility for their actions, and they do repent of their actions, and they do show remorse, and they are genuinely sorry for making mistakes, those people, like CZ, I think, ought to have some kind of it should go a little bit easier for them. That being said, it is a hard thing for a prosecutor because they have to deal with the likes of CZ, who I think is genuine, and then they have to deal with the likes of Sam Bankman-Fried, who I think was an absolute crook and was one of the biggest manipulators of the entire media that we have seen in a very long time. So I don't envy any of them, and I am just very much glad that I'm not the one handing down the sentencing. All right, so let's read a little bit of chat. Really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. He did the crime, he must pay the time. That's right. Yeah, if you do the crime, it's gotta happen. You can get a slightly smart, like if my 3-year-old does something he's not supposed to, but he's very remorseful and he's sorry and he's repentant. I'm like, look, you're gonna get a lighter sentence, but there's still consequences. Yeah, I can't just let you off the hook because you feel bad about it. I'm glad you feel bad about it, and so I'll let you off the hook a little bit, but I can't completely let you off the hook just because you feel bad about it. I'm glad you do, and I want there to be a reward for that. All right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and read some chat. That's funny. We need to put Jeff in our swamp and handle him like how we handled those volunteers. My friend, I probably live closer to the swamp than you do. I have vomited in the swamp because I ran those stadiums all freaking day. I am very familiar with the swamp. If you don't know what he's talking about, I assume he's talking about the home of the Florida Gators. All right. Let's go ahead and jump on over to Bitcoin because we've got a lot to talk about. Today, Bitcoin is on a corrective movement, and this is something that we're going to want to pay close attention to. Over the last several hours, we've been seeing a drop here. Bitcoin has dropped from $66,700 down 2.5% over the last 2 hours, down to a current low of $65,200. This drop indicates to us that we're not out of the woods yet, and this is what I've been telling you guys. I think that Bitcoin will break above $73,000. It will break all of the way up to north of $80,000 and higher, but Bitcoin has been needing and is still receiving a corrective movement. Whenever the market goes to the upside and rallies for as long and as quickly as Bitcoin has, it's going to need a correction. Why do I say that? Well, we oftentimes think to ourselves, and I think rightfully so, but we think to ourselves, oh, Bitcoin's just getting started in this rally. But what we neglect to recall is that this bull market so far has been $57,000 tall. That is almost as tall as the last bull market was, which was $61,000 tall. Bitcoin has managed to recreate the last bull market already. That's already happened. Do I think the market is done rallying? No. But the same thing can be said on total. If you go on over here to total, the rally in market capitalization is very much a similar size to what we've already seen happen. A $2 trillion market cap rally across the crypto markets. In the last market, it was a $3 trillion rally. So we're not done recouping and building a rally as big as we had before. But we also have to realize that Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space as a whole has gone through a major movement. And as such, a major correction is in order at some point. The best time is now. The best time for Bitcoin to have a major corrective movement is right about now. The best time for Bitcoin to consolidate is right about now. So I am very much hoping and praying that Bitcoin will drop down to this uptrending level of support. And with the way the market is showing up in just the last few hours, it indicates that we may be seeing that. In fact, we have a couple of different ways that we can draw Elliott waves here. We could draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that and indicate that we're going lower from here. We could also indicate an Elliott wave corrective movement and say that right up here on April the 8th was the top, A, B, C. There are plenty of different arguments to be made that we're about to go into another leg down, and I'm inclined to believe that it may happen because we're still getting FUD like this, like the DOJ coming out and saying that CZ should spend 3 years in prison, for example. Or the FUD that the halving did not immediately cause a giant rally. Obviously, we rallied for a few days there, but a lot of people are probably feeling a little bit let down, thinking, oh my goodness, I thought the rally was going to be bigger, and so everybody's a pessimist because the glass is half empty. How do you not see that, you knucklehead? Of course it's a glass half empty kind of moment, and that's how people are thinking. They're being pessimistic and fatalistic as if the market is going to go down forever, and so this is the candlestick that we are left with. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I am saying that the fatalistic among us who think that the market is just doomed, those are the ones that are probably doomed to fail. There are rallies that are going to come to Bitcoin, but that doesn't mean they're going to come now. Bitcoin needs a corrective movement, and hopefully that comes soon, even at this point in time. So, what do we do if that corrective movement comes? The first thing that we ought to do is to continue our dollar cost averaging. I have told you guys over and over and over again, and this is the same education I'm going to bring you for years and years to come, that wealthy people get out of debt. They get control of their money by having a written plan for their money that's called a budget. They're radically generous because people and God both smile on somebody who is radically generous, and they save and invest. They choose to take sovereignty over their finances, and then they save and invest. And they do that on a consistent basis for years. Every successful business in the history of mankind has also done something very similar. They have done some kind of investment in the business on a consistent basis, whether it be a weekly leadership meeting, whether it be a quarterly process improvement review, whatever it may be. Every successful business, every successful individual who goes to the gym 5 days a week, even if they only manage to do one rep while they're there every once in a while, but they're there every single day on a weekday. Everyone who goes on a permanent diet and says, look, I am going to cut out sugar. I'm going to have a donut every once in a while, but for the most part, I'm going to try and live a sugar-free life. Those are the people that end up becoming successful, or the people that say, I'm going to do something that is sustainable in a consistent manner. And maybe what's sustainable for you in the area of dieting is say, hey, I'm going to have a donut once a week. That's a lot better than 3 donuts a day. Hey, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. I might miss a day here and there, but that's a lot better than not going at all. And I'm going to invest on a weekly basis, and I might miss a week, and I might not be able to afford it 1 week, but I'm going to try and do it on a consistent basis. This is the teaching that you need to hear if you want to be successful in cryptocurrency. If you don't want to be successful in cryptocurrency, then tune out and stop listening to me. If you want to make a change in your life financially, then listen to what I'm saying and do it, because it is tried and true and proven. It is not an opinion. It is a matter of fact. That's why I call it a law. Have I made myself clear? How we build wealth in cryptocurrency is the same way we build wealth in anything. We invest in assets that we reasonably believe, with a train of thought, with a train of logic, that they will be worth more in the future than they are now. And we do that on a consistent basis for a long time. Dollar cost averaging is what it's called in cryptocurrency. It's called maxing out your 401k if you have a 401k. But that's not the only thing. I hope you've been dollar cost averaging. In fact, you may have even stopped at this point. And it's okay if you have, because we're getting pretty high on Bitcoin. You may have already loaded up your bags like me. I'm not dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. I've had Bitcoin for years. I've got so much Bitcoin. I'm dollar cost averaging into a bunch of other things. Building wealth in a consistent basis by doing something on a weekly or a monthly basis that builds wealth, whether it's paying off debt or investing in a Roth IRA or buying Bitcoin. We're doing something on a consistent, either weekly or monthly, maybe even daily basis that builds wealth. That's how you build wealth. One step at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 year at a time. So I hope you're dollar cost averaging, or you've already into something, and it may even be into Bitcoin. But also hope you have some cash on the side if you're looking to deploy more. And that's where this drop that I'm talking about may come in. If Bitcoin does drop down to $56,000, if you have cash, then you have options. Say it with me. Cash equals options. Debt equals slavery. Cash equals options. Debt equals slavery. Have cash, not debt. But Jeb. I don't have any cash, and I've got a bunch of debt. Then throw the cash at the debt until you have cash and no debt. And it may take some time. I guarantee you it will. All right, cool. And then we invest on a consistent basis. And when we have that cash, then we're able to deploy capital. If Bitcoin starts dropping down here towards this uptrending level of support, then we start deploying cash, and it very well may. There's a lot of reason to believe that we might drop from here. A lot of reasons. The sell signal on LUX Algo never actually hit the stop loss, and we actually never hit the take profit. It's very possible that we drop down here to this level, and I hope that we do. I hope that we do. If Bitcoin does drop down to this level, 26% down, that would be phenomenal. That'd be a great thing for Bitcoin. And in fact, it gives me more confidence that the bull market will last longer if we go through that crash. I hope and pray we drop down to $56,000. Now, at the same time, we're seeing corrective movements on many of your other favorite altcoins. For example, on Solana, we've been rallying over the last week. We're down a little bit today, but the sell signal hit the take profit down here at about 120. Solana did this. It dropped down and fully completed the take profit that we saw over here on Bitcoin, for example. Bitcoin has not dropped as far as Solana. You can see the difference here. Solana dropped harder, and that is ultimately going to be a good thing for Solana. Solana ended up dropping a grand total of 43%, which is wonderful. That leads to more people wanting to buy the asset. And it also means that all the people that we're going to get out of it are out of it. So if we're looking to invest in something in dollar cost average, then we ought to be looking at these drops as a good thing. Now, even looking over here at Ethereum, Ethereum's kind of in between the two boats. It has dropped somewhat into its take profit on the sell signal from Lux Algo, but it has not actually gotten all the way down there. So it is very possible that Ethereum could drop farther. The difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin is that Ethereum is sitting on top of this long-term uptrending level of support, as you can see right here. And so there is the question of whether or not Ethereum will break through that. If Ethereum does break through that level, then there are other support levels, for example, at $2,150 and also here at $2,732. Both of these levels are set by previous market action, as you can see here, 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 and here. Those are two levels that are going to be very significant for Ethereum. And then you start realizing, if I were to draw a green rectangle right about here, that the Ethereum chart and the Bitcoin chart actually look very similar. Bitcoin's just higher above its support level than Ethereum is. See that support level that I draw right there? And the support level here on Bitcoin that drops down to 47. Do you see how there is a potential that we could drop quite a bit farther? In fact, even if we did, Solana could drop all the way down to $100. I'm not saying we're going to for sure, but I am saying that I hope it happens. I hope that we go through a major correction. And I hope that some people think, oh my goodness, this is a bear market, and they take their profits, and then they'll be able to get into better entries. Here's the deal. Whenever the market crashes, whenever it drops, that is an opportunity to make some money. So please invest in your education and continue to accrue wisdom. If you're enjoying today's stream, hit that like button and let's read some chat. Press O'Neill says, if Gary never made the crypto laws clear, how would CZ know he broke the laws or not at CryptoJeb? That is exactly the point. And that's exactly the point. It's very difficult to figure out what you're supposed to do when you're running a cryptocurrency exchange because the laws are not very clear. Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. Hey guys, by the way, I want to let you know today's stream is brought to you in part by NordVPN. If you have not already signed up for NordVPN, then you absolutely should, because NordVPN is going to help keep you safe, secure, and private while you browse online. Go to nordvpn.com/Jeb. There we go. Go to nordvpn.com/Jeb and sign up for a 2-year plan to protect yourself for the duration of the bull market. Let's read a little bit of chat, and then we're going to continue moving right along here. Good morning here, learning from you. Well, thank you, Carlos. Mejia? Is it Mejia? Is it Mejia or Mejia? Is it like an HJ? I know that in Spanish, my name, for example, is pronounced Cheb. Sounds a little bit like almost sounds a little like Hebrew-y, but so have to see. Grand day, Jeb and friends. Good afternoon from England. Good afternoon, Master of Parsnips. Let's see. Sorry ain't good enough in some situations. That's right. I totally agree. And if you're going to break the law, then you got to do the time. That's what the law's there for. All for that. All right, let's read some chat. Sup, bros. Good morning from Brazil. Good morning, OG13. Good morning to all of you. Level similar to what Jeb was talking about. Cool. Good deal. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Jeb, are you Jewish? I am not. I am a pasty white Southern boy, redneck, that is a Christian, with a odd fascination with astrophysics, rockets, and engineering. Yeah, I'm a real mashup of everything. I'm your bona fide Sheldon Cooper. Anyway, Bitcoin obviously is going through a correction right now, down 3% in the last 24 hours, down 2% in the last hour. We'll see where this correction goes. But of course, it is something that we are actually quite excited about. The good news is, guys, remember, over the last 7 days, the entire cryptocurrency market is actually in quite a bit of a rally. Solana, for example, is still up 16% over the last 7 days, despite being down 2.5% in the last hour. Binance is up 12% in the last 7 days and only down 1% in the last hour and down 1% in the last 24 hours, despite this news coming out from the DOJ. XRP is up 8% in the last 7 days. Dogecoin up 3% in the last 7 days. Cardano up 8.5% in the last 7 days, and SHIB up 20%. Cardano has been going into a good bit of a corrective movement, and all of these coins, even though they're not at the same lows that they were at a week ago, are still looking to be quite solid entries if you're going to hold them for the long run. If you'll remember, Bitcoin is obviously sitting right here around its all-time high, but if you go to total, we're actually pretty far away from the previous bull market all-time high. We've got to add another $600 billion of market capitalization to get back there. And that's because the altcoins are not rallied back up to where they were in the last bull market. Bitcoin dominance is still significantly higher. Now, HBAR, for all of you guys that have been buying HBAR, huge rally coming out of HBAR. Massive rally. I know a lot of you guys that have been in HBAR, and I'm sure you're very excited about that right now. It's up. It went up to 18 cents, dropped down to 13. And that's still nowhere near where it could go. HBAR is potentially has an all-time high of 48 cents. It does have a fixed maximum supply. There has been a great degree of inflation since the previous all-time high, so please keep that in mind. But the good news here is that most of the inflation that has occurred, that will occur, has occurred. So we're worried about the future, not about the past. So most of the inflation that ever will occur has already occurred. All right. Now, Uniswap up 13% in the last 7 days, down 4% in the last 24 hours. Excited about Uniswap because it's still got a ton of volume. If you go on over here to the exchanges, you're going to find that Uniswap is still one of the largest exchanges, especially if you factor in the fact that it's got like 5 different iterations of itself. If you combine all of the trading volume, Uniswap v2, Uniswap v3 on Arbitrum, Uniswap v3 on Base, Uniswap v3 on Polygon, Uniswap v3 on Optimism. If you combine all of those together, you're going to find the Uniswap is by leaps and bounds the largest DEX by market share. Now, of course, Dojo Swap kind of jumped up here out of nowhere, but we'll see how long this lasts. This has been going on for a couple of days. You can see the volume graph over here. Uniswap, I think, is a great option for an exchange to purchase, and the reason for that is because I want to, first and foremost, accumulate all of the largest picks in each of the respective areas. Decentralized exchanges, layer 1, decentralized application protocols such as Ethereum, your layer 1 long-term storage, long-term inflation hedge cryptocurrencies that are hardened from inflation like Bitcoin, Internet Computer, kind of in a league of its own, Polkadot, Chainlink. These are all cryptocurrencies that are leaders in what they do. They are not the runner-up. They are not second fiddle to someone else. They are the leader. This is where I would say XRP over Lumens, for example, and Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana over Cardano. Not that I don't love Cardano, I do. But my principles are going to lead me in the direction. The principles and the values and the wisdom that we teach is what makes our decisions for us, which makes making decisions very easy. Someone asked me one time, one of my employees asked me one time, why it was so easy for me to make some decisions, because sometimes I would be presented with an option and I would instantly make it. And I didn't have to think about it. How was I able to be so decisive? And I said to them, it's because I didn't make the decision. What I believed made the decision. And what I believed was very clear. So somebody walks up to me and says, hey, you want to make $100,000, but you got to breach your integrity to do it? I'm not going to think about that. The answer is no. Oh, but what if it's $1 million? No. Oh, but what if it's $1 billion? No. What if I give you the whole world? No. No. N-O, no. Go pick on somebody else. No. We are able to make a decision instantly because we have principles, and I'm not going to sit here and think about, should I do such and such? I'm not even going to name it because should I do this? No. But what if, no. But what if I paid you? No. But what if it gets this for you? No. It's that simple. The values and the principles make our decision for us. And so when we're looking at the market here, we get to make some very quick and easy decisions about crypto because our principles made them for us. One of the principles is we invest on a consistent basis in assets that we reasonably believe and have a logical train of thought for why we believe that they will appreciate in value over time. And we invest first in assets that are lower risk, even if they have lower reward, so that we don't lose our freaking butt every couple of years and have to start over. I want my investments to be parked in something where I can set it and forget it and not worry about it. I'm going to pay attention to it, but I want to put my money in something where I can say, I'm going to leave this here for 10 years. And when I come back, I'm not going to ignore it. I'm going to keep track of it. But even if I did ignore it, I want to come back in 10 years and be quite confident that I'm going to be fine. After we've done that, then we start investing in other smaller cap, more complicated projects, which is why before you go on to try and be a trader, you've got a lot of work to do. Jeb, if you look at the sectors that Elon Musk owns, transportation, communication, internet, and artificial intelligence, contingency plan against corrupt governments, and will Doge be the currency of such plan? Well, I assume this is a conversation you're having with your girlfriend because your name is My Girlfriend Hates Dogecoin. Here's the deal. What did I just talk about? The principle of the matter is that we want to invest. One of the principles is that we invest in the largest of each sector first, because it is the leader in that space. And the leader oftentimes is the incumbent is oftentimes the one that wins. That's just kind of the way it works. Dogecoin still happens to be the largest meme coin, followed closely by SHIB, but still quite a bit far ahead of SHIB. If you're going to buy a meme coin and you're not buying Dogecoin, I think you're missing out on something. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people say I'm safe. Guys, I have been risky with hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. I've done dumb stuff. I've done more dumb things with money than most of you have ever seen. And I'm half your age. I know what it feels like to be stupid with money. I also know what it feels like to be wise with money. I have been there. I have done that. I have spent $7 on the stupid freaking postcard. Stop being dumb with money. Follow wise principles that actual rich people follow, which is I build a big income and I leverage it for investment in things that I reasonably believe will be worth more in the future than they are now. And I do that on a consistent basis. And I get to call myself an investor because I'm not a fool with money. So please do that. Now, let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin because we're going through a corrective movement as I was expecting, and I hope it would. Bitcoin is currently sitting around $65,100. I really hope that Bitcoin does correct further from here. And I think that there is a great likelihood that it will. All right, let's read some chat. Before we do, I do want to let you guys know about Vault. If you guys have not already signed up for Vault, I highly recommend that you do. If you're trying to store your cryptocurrency keys in a place that is safe and secure for the long run, then you need to look no farther than Vault by Uphold. Come over to the link in the description box down below, go to products and services, hit Vault, and you're going to see a product here where you get to store your Bitcoin in a secure way where if you lose your key, you're going to be okay. The way Vault works is that you have 3 different keys, and there are always 2 of them. 2 of them are needed to access your vault and to get into your private key. If you should lose one of your private keys, Uphold's key can stand in the place of it because remember, the vault needs 2 of the 3 keys to unlock it. It doesn't matter which of the 3 keys. Generally speaking, you'll be using your 2 keys, and Vault's key is just sitting over here as backup in case something happens. But if you lose one of your keys, Uphold will step in and use their key to help you unlock the wallet. It is an incredible idea, so make sure to check them out with the link in the description box down below. Let's read some chat. $1,000 is just $1,000. You need to go long 17.5x. Why? But long 17.5x leverage? If you don't know what you're doing with money, please don't use leverage. If you've not gotten yourself out of debt, if you've not started investing for the long run, if you don't have a steady income that you are building wealth with, please don't think that leverage trading is going to be your way out. You can learn to become a trader, and you can try and make that your full-time job. There are people that do that, and I'm not going to try and discourage you from that if that's what you try and do. But understand that to become a full-time trader, you've got to put in a lot of work. And it's not as easy as you think it is. It's about 100 times harder than you think it is. It's doable. But unless you're willing to make that commitment, then don't try and make leverage trading into your income. All right, let's read a little bit more chat here. Stephen Alexander said, keep smashing the like button, a small token of appreciation for Jeb's work. Well, thank you. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. All right. Good morning from Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Leverage trading is debt. Exactly. It is debt because you're borrowing money from the exchange. Please be careful. I would recommend you don't do it, but if you're going to do it, there are places that you can do it safely, but please do be careful. Please do be careful. All right, guys, I also want to let you know that today's stream is brought to you in part by Crypto.com. If you guys didn't already know, Crypto.com has come on as a sponsor of our channel. They are trusted by over 80 million users worldwide, and for a good reason. They've got all kinds of products and services. If you come here, you're going to see all of them right here. They've got their Visa cards. They've got their Crypto.com pay cards where you can spend your cryptocurrency anywhere. They've got a DeFi wallet and the desktop wallet to manage your DeFi tools. They've also got an app where you can buy over 350 different cryptocurrencies, and you get to do all of that with recurring buys, which is absolutely incredible. You get to set up your recurring purchases right here in the app. So get started with your dollar cost averaging and your consistent overtime investment in cryptocurrency with Crypto.com by following the link in the description box down below. Do you have any comment on why crypto is dumping? Because it's needed to for a while. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency have needed a corrective movement for some time, and the last month has shown that we are finally getting that. If you'll notice, the degree at which we rallied is very different from the degree at which we are correcting. And since Bitcoin is correcting much slower than it rallied, it may be that Bitcoin needs more time. If you'll notice, Bitcoin has been correcting for about as long as Bitcoin was rallying, but Bitcoin rallied so much farther than Bitcoin has corrected in that same time. Bitcoin rallied $35,000, but it only dropped a grand total of $14,000. This shows us that the bulls are still the faction that is in the overall control, but that doesn't mean that they are immune to corrections. There does need to be a correction on Bitcoin, which is what we are seeing right now. It will not last forever, but it did need to happen. It did need to happen. I hope you guys are enjoying today's stream. If you are, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and please understand that it is through wisdom that we are able to build wealth. It is through wisdom that we are able to understand how to go about our lives in a way that is profitable. We have got to pursue wisdom. I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. We are going to go ahead and wrap it out. I do appreciate all of you tuning in, and I'm very much looking forward to you seeing this afternoon's video. I think you're really going to like it, so make sure you stay tuned for that. As I said, I'm going to wrap it out, but before I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.